New Mexico and Aggie Memorial Stadium, home of the New Mexico State Aggies, and we have a showdown coming up in the land of enchantment. What an exciting matchup we have in store for you this afternoon, built around the pageantry, tradition, and everything that makes college football great. As we'll see a squad from the Sun Belt, the James Madison Dukes, taking on a team from Conference USA, the New Mexico State Aggies. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. Mexico State will kick it off and we'll be underway. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. So the James Madison Dukes offense takes the field to start this game off. Here he comes, and obviously defense is always going to be aware of a quarterback, but boy, he finds a way to put defenses on their heels all the time, David.
I mean, what can't he do? He's got the weapons, he's got the confidence, he's got the experience. Jesse, these kind of guys are so hard to defend.
You're right. They better be able to find a way to get pressure on him, because if they don't, this is going to be a long day.
Can't make the grab. Quarterback just missed him a little bit. Third down, and they'll need 5 to keep this opening drive moving. From the gun, wants to pass. He's got an open man. Really confident throw and catch there. Big pickup, and they have a first down. The Dukes headed quickly to the line. Motion trying to get the defense to show its hand. Just missed on the connection, incomplete. Quarterback and running back set up in the pistol. On second down, he'll try to make the connection this time. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be third down. They keep attacking through the air. Quickly to the tight end. He's got first down yardage as they move it to the 44. And the Dukes have their offense in high gear. That throw and catch, a really good example of why coaches don't want a quarterback to get stuck on a particular target, isn't it, David?
Yep, that's exactly right. Find the guy who's open, because you got so many guys that have so much speed that can do so much damage on the field. You find my matchup, get it to him, let him do the rest.
A nice job by the defense there, tackling the catch and smothering the tight end. They know this offense is going to try to find him in the passing game in a lot of different situations. That time, perfect coverage, and nice job bringing the big guy down. Not easy to do.
We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. He's back to throw on second down. He is lucky to get that one back, and the last thing you want is to turn it over on your opening drive. On third and long, no secret what he needs here. Feeling the heat as he lets it go. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's fourth down. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. So New Mexico State's offense will go to work for the first time. As we take a look at our impact players for this one, what are you looking for, Jesse, for a guy to make an impact?
Well, these are simply put the leaders of this football team, and generally games go how these guys play. If they make plays, then they've got a shot to win this one.
No doubt, they got to show up. These are the team leaders. These guys.
Ball in the air, intercepted. Just a short return, but that would have been icing on the cake. They've got it first down at the 42.
Not the start this kid was looking for. Very first pass of the day gets picked off. This is a defense that's got a lot of ball hawks on the back end, and he's got to be real careful with his eyes, not telegraph throws like he did right there. He's going to have to settle in.
The offense lining up for a first down play. They'll run it from the gun. A most efficient pickup of 6 on first down. It's 2nd and 4. The Dukes in the hurry up. On second down, he'll let it fly. Finds his man down the middle. And they'll bring him down, but not before he picks up the first down. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost one on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. They'll run play action. Throwing right. Makes the grab. Huge gain before he goes out of bounds, and now they've got it 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. Snowed under after a pickup of 2. They'll mark it at the 8. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. He's looking to throw. He caught it. He thought he might turn that into a score, but the defense able to wrestle him down short. They'll stop him at the 3. Looking for the touchdown on 3rd and goal. Quarterback strolling away from heat. And the pressure gets him back at the 8-yard line.
All right, nice job, defense. Backs against the wall. You did your job setting up 4th down. Just be careful, though, because this is a team that's shown they can fake field goals. Your guys have to be alert.
They'll try to get something out of this drive and kick the field goal here on 4th down. From the left hash, and this distance ought to make that angle pretty easy to handle. Oh, and he missed it. No good. Kicker tried to tack a few more on the scoreboard, guys, and couldn't do it.
Well, everybody in the stadium thought that was an automatic 3. Not so fast. Bad miss by the kicker.
The Aggies offense will have another go at it. Well, let's see if this drive goes better than the last one. They were in and out quickly after the quick pick, David.
Yeah, first play, big mistake, man. Now, let's get this offense in a little bit of a rhythm. Maybe before you open it up again, Palmer, or do you trust him right away?
He seems to me like the guy maybe that just needs to kind of get into the flow of the game. So maybe you get the running game going here. Just give him some easy looks to let him get lathered up.
On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. Oh, picked off. Oh, he gave him a dead leg. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
Short fields make successful offenses just what they want here. They'll run it out of the shotgun.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting what was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
Trying to impose their will with the run. And he's knocked down, but not before moving the chains. And the Dukes want to pick up the tempo. A 1st down run in the red zone. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. He's looking to throw. He makes a grab. And they swarm him under. They'd love to make this short field pay off with a touchdown instead of settling for 3, but it is 3rd and goal. Trying to bully their way in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, James Madison. A quick strike, just as we expected.
Yeah, and quick strikes are easy when you got such great field position. Obviously, when the offense starts in such a good spot, puts the defense in a bad position, and the offense takes advantage.
Ready to try the point after. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they close the deal, pushing their way inches into the end zone. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The New Mexico State offense returns to the field. Mistakes are going to happen, as they did on that last drive. Now, how will they respond, Jesse?
And this is the kind of guy who's going to take full accountability. That was my bad. That's on me. I'm about to lead this offense now down the field to score some points.
Dang, I wish I'd have played with you. I didn't play with many quarterbacks that were just like, yeah, my bad. Hey, guys, I got this. Sorry about that. It was more, you should have ran a better route.
They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. On the option. And he froze that defender. He thought he was going to pitch it, kept it himself, and turned it into a big play. And the Aggies have it with a 1st and 10. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go.
Hold it. Offense.
They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. He'll pull it on the read. Makes a man miss. And a good, solid pickup before the defense cuts him down. This offense has a 2nd down play. Back to throw. It's Koo. Right down the middle. And he really needed to hold on to that one, but it was not loose, and 3rd down is coming. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Looking for a big play. And that deep shot's going to wind up incomplete, but we do have a flag on the field. Let's see what the official says. They'll decline the penalty here and let the result of that play stand. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. And the punt goes out of bounds. We'll check the spot. Think they'll have it right around the 40-yard line. 1st down here for the offense. They go to the ground. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there.
2nd down.
Here's a quick throw out to the left. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. The Dukes moving quickly to the line. Motion by the back forces the defense to adjust. Tight end finds a soft spot. They make the stop, but not before the screen has hit them for a 1st down and much more. Really good execution by this offense.
And you don't see that often when you're running a screen and you're featuring the running back and setting it up, but you go elsewhere. It's a nice job by the offense, nice job by the quarterback in particular, seeing the defense, saying, I can make a play somewhere else, and he goes and does it.
Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw. Quickly complete. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. Defense trying to come up with a stop on 3rd and short from the 37. They'll try to get it through the air. Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. He's got enough for the 1st down. They'll spot him at the 24-yard line.
And as a defense, that's why you want to avoid 3rd and short moving forward. It's really hard to defend that slant. That's a bang-bang play the offense knows they can execute in their sleep. Defense will have to do better early in the drive moving forward.
And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming. Now the play fake. He's got it. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Corner's right up on that line of scrimmage. They've got a ways to go on 3rd down from the 24 as this defense tries to force him into a... Oh, what a spectacular layout and catch. Let me tell you, this senior quarterback can flat fit it in a tight window. They'll give it to the back. And after the tackle, we are headed to the end of the first quarter. Guys, it's James Madison on top as we've come to the end of the quarter. Guys, let's have a look at the stats as we've played one period. Lots of time left, and we're ready to get back to it and open the second period. Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. And maybe they want to try somewhere else because there is nothing doing in the middle of this defense. The terrain gets rough this deep in the red zone. Third down, they can't pick up the first without scoring. They go to the draw. He gets it oh so close to the first. Short. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They just need a few more inches here on fourth down. Touchdown, Dukes!
And after starting the season 0-1, this offense felt like they just left plays on the field in that first game. But so far today, they're taking advantage. QB's making good decisions. Guys are stepping up. They've limited the mental mistakes. They have
the AT unit on the field. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great top 25 matchup. Penn State is down, but don't rule out some late-game magic. With that offense and the kid on D, who's the latest stud at linebacker, anything is possible. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Tennessee. Any big developments in this one, we've got you covered with the best studio team in the business, gentlemen.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. To the air, it's Koo. Looking to the big tight end. And they couldn't make the connection on the long shot. So what do they have for third and short from their own 23? The back goes in motion. In the gun and looking to throw on third down. Working that left side now. Good job running that route to get past the sticks because he got nothing after the catch. Wide receiver shows motion.
And really nice on third down there, throwing in rhythm. You're throwing the hitch against zone. You're taking your steps. There's no hesitation. You're not even hitching. That back foot plants and the ball comes out immediately. Really nice.
Here they come to try it again on 2nd and 10 from the 29. They want to just keep throwing it. Right on target this time. At midfield, he's got room. And he's brought down after a huge completion. The Aggies want to move quickly.
How nice is it as a quarterback that you don't have to throw post routes to get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
So frustrating to see an offense lose track of the play clock and pick up a penalty like that. Pulls it and fires to the left. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. And on 2nd down for this offense. Wide out in motion. Looking to throw, it's Koo. Quickly out to the tight end. Stopped after making the catch. 3rd and long coming from the 27-yard line. You can make a field goal from here, just don't take a negative play. From the gun, wants to pass. Caught. He's there to make the stop, but the damage has been done as they pick up the first down on the throw and catch. From the red zone, looking for a space. He'll throw it. Got it! Takes it to the house. Touchdown, Aggies.
And what a nice start for this offense. The throw game getting working, getting the touchdown pass. This quarterback getting a little bit of confidence. This passing game getting in a rhythm. Nice start for this offense.
He'll try to tack on one more. And after the extra point, they've cut the lead at half, down 14-7. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
14, New Mexico State, 7.
On the move from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. Guys, James Madison ready to go back on the attack. Now they need to put something together to answer that last score.
There's a lot of pressure, too, on this offense to have to execute at a high level. They've got to score points, David, but they can't go too fast because their defense right now is tied.
And I think that's the difficulty being a play caller. Like, I have to balance all of those things. My defense is a little bit tired. I can't put on the field, but I got to be aggressive because this is a back-and-forth type game, so a lot to process and think about.
Here's the handoff. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. And the Dukes will hustle to the line. On second down, just keeps firing. And that one's too high and too wide, out of bounds and incomplete. Third down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. Trying to get to it. Just had to get rid of that one to save the yardage on third down. The Dukes will call on their punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Might have thought he'd want to try to pick up a few yards there, but he's content with making the fair catch right around the 35-yard line. They'll move the running back to try to force the defense to adjust. Stuffed almost in his tracks, but strong enough to pick up one to the 35. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Defense a little too jumpy there, and they got into the neutral zone too soon.
Encroachment. Defense.
The encroachment penalty on the D gives the offense a free 5 yards. Looking to throw, it's Coop. And they get the sack right out of the gate.
And those outside linebackers nowadays, they're so fast. They got to cover ground, but you can blitz them off the edge, and they can get after quarterbacks. Versatile. That's why they're getting drafted so high in the NFL and getting paid all that money.
Now facing a 3rd and long. Defense didn't maintain its discipline there, and they get into the neutral zone. It'll cost them 5 yards.
Defense.
The offense needed something, just anything, to give them just a little breathing room, and the defense provided it with that penalty. And this is going to be incomplete on 3rd. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Was looking for more running room, but found nothing but more tacklers. He's down at the 24. Offense getting set for first down. They're going to throw it to start the drive. Snagged in the middle, it's Stokes. They make the stop after the catch, and still some work to do to pick up that first down. Wide receiver now comes in motion. The give to the running back from the shotgun. Pushes ahead for a couple, they'll mark it at the 33. And the Dukes want to crank the tempo. They'll throw on 3rd and short. Quickly complete. Able to work it to the 39-yard line, and that'll be a first down. The Dukes come to the line with a new set of downs.
Shotgun fundamentals are so key. He was like a shortstop. Caught the shotgun snap and right away rifled.
And they got him for the sack.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes in offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
That is the last thing you want on first down as an offensive sack. Now it's second down. Running back goes in motion. Wants to fire on second down. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Turns it on down the left side. Touchdown, James Madison. And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call. If you're able to move the ball in a drive like that, the most overrated stat in football would be field position.
Agreed, and I think confidence is big right now after that last drive. To be able to flip the field like that, not just do it, but go down and score a touchdown. Running and throwing, for this offense now moving forward in this game, that last drive is going to pay big dividends.
And the extra point puts them on top 21-7. Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. He'll start the return inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Line gets set, first down. Moving the running back, trying to get the D to tip its hand. Crosses the 35. The expressway is wide open. And the runner is down, and so is a flag.
Hold it.
Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. Wide receiver coming across in motion. Using his feet. Moving past the 25. A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the first down. Big chunk play to start this drive. Now they'll really try to take it to this defense. The give out of the gun. Able to pick his way forward for a decent gain before the defense gets him down. Just had a solid pickup on first. Now let's see what they've got on second down. He'll do it himself. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. In the dead center of the field as they try to convert this third and short. Oh, the defense moved in there too quickly. You think it's never going to work until it does, and that'll be a first down. Contact in the neutral zone leads to that penalty. Good news for the offense. Finds his tight end. And he'll step out of bounds after a very productive play. They'll line up for a second down play.
Brings up second down.
Really nice stop there from this senior leader. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. From the 36, a third down, and you wonder if they're willing to take 2 plays to get the first. Oh, how did he make that move? He showed it all there. A little elusiveness, a little power, and he's got the first down. We've made our way to the 2-minute warning, and now they'll try to at least cut a little something off of this lead before the break. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. They make the tackle, but he's got a fresh set of downs, and it's first and goal from the 7. And this is a really important series of plays, a chance to cut into the lead just before halftime. Makes the catch. He's all the way down to the 2-yard line. Just spectacular execution there. Offense trying to pay it off on second and goal. Receiver on the move gets the touch pass. Oh, and he thought he had a chance to house him, but the defense tackles him at the 3. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. And they'll try it again after getting nothing on second down. It's third and goal from the 3. Trying to pound it in. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Now it looks as if they'll settle for the field goal try. It's good. He could have hit a string right in the middle of the uprights there. So they put the field goal on the board and about to kick it away and hoping that'll be the final points of this first half. And he takes this from inside the 5. And he'll be brought down after a solid effort on that return. James Madison sends the offense back onto the field. They've got time, they've got the lead, and David is sort of like a doctor. First, do no harm.
Do no harm, but also momentum is hard to create and sometimes hard to stop. You have it, so Jesse, don't do anything stupid to create some momentum for the other side.
I think a lot of this comes down to your quarterback and whether or not he's making good decisions in this game. If yes, be aggressive. If not, let's just take the lead into halftime and get ready for the second half.
On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. That's caught. It's Jocelyn. And the Dukes send out the punt unit. They'll look to pin him deep. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Inside 30 seconds to play here in the second quarter. They've got it 1st and 10. Fires to the big fella. And he laid the lumber to stop him from getting the first down. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Throws to the back. Oh, big fella almost had a pick right there. Instead, it falls incomplete. Big third down coming from their own 31. Defense tries to get off the field. Fast motion from the offense. On the option. Now the pitch. Perfectly timed on that pitch, and they pick up the first down on the play. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Comes out throwing on first down. And that is interception number 3 on the day. And he's dragged down after the interception, and that's how we'll close out the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update.
Thanks, guys. Looks like it's been a terrific scene there today in Las Cruces. And we have to start this halftime breakdown by addressing the play of this elite wide receiver. This is clearly a young man who, once he's finished playing on Saturdays, he's going to be playing on Sundays. The kid has different gears. He has a knack for finding gaps in the defense. And I can't remember a college player with that kind of catch radius. And with that, let's send it back to the guys at Aggie Memorial Stadium.
The Dukes will try to kick this one deep to get things underway in the second half. And he's going to bring it out. Gets it out to the 20, about 5 yards short of where he'd be if he had just taken a knee in the end zone. The Aggies offense will have another go at it. Down 2 possessions to start this third quarter. They'd love to build some early momentum.
You ain't lying, because you only got so many possessions here in the second half, so now you're down. I got to maximize every single one. Put your best plays together. Start this drive off on a good note.
Yeah, it starts right here. Obviously, you can't get it all back on this drive, but you can create...
And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Well, the defense knew coming into the second half here, they were going to have to crank up the pass rush, right? They've got the lead. They're going to be seeing this quarterback drop back. How can you affect him? You've got to win up front one-on-one and get home, and they did there on third down.
And this offense just has to find a way to convert this third down, or else they are really in trouble. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. New Mexico State will be forced to punt.
Number 12, on to kick it away.
A fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Guys, James Madison ready to go back on the attack. They'll have another opportunity to extend this lead after punting last time, David.
And it's important to put that punt behind you. It's over. Let it go. Get back to what you were doing that built this lead, Tony.
Yeah, and defense, obviously, they won a few downs that last drive, so we got to put them on their heels here. Maybe mix up a few personnel groupings and try to show them some pictures they haven't seen yet.
Just a quick rhythm throw there and really good use of the tight end.
Yeah, good use of the big fella. I mean, go through your progressions real quick. You can't find anything. Get the easy gain. Don't take a shot down the field all the time. Take those shots later, but take those easy, wide-open opportunities to get some positive chunks.
And they make the tackle, but he has plenty for the 1st down. He's looking to throw it. Firing to the right, complete. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. And the Dukes are in the hurry-up. On 2nd down, looking again to throw. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. Just outside the red zone at the 21, but it's 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. The quick out. And the defense was right there to make the tackle, but not before they get it to the 12 and set up in the red zone. This time they'll go to the running game. Able to pick up a couple before he's knocked down. They mark it at the 10. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. From the gun, the ground game. He'll be brought down at the 5-yard line, and this defense is on its heels. Boy, they'd love to pick up this conversion and go to work with a 1st and goal. Wants to throw on 3rd. Flushed out of the pocket. Touchdown, Dukes! And they take it in for 6 more points. Well, that didn't necessarily go as planned, but it was most effective in the end.
I love it, Reese. Down in the red zone, this quarterback didn't have anybody open. Didn't panic. He just decided, man, I'm going to go do this myself. I'm going to use my wheels and put up 6 on the board. He did just that.
Getting set for the point after.
Is on for the extra point.
And the extra point sails through for a 28-10 lead. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Miami is running away with this one, thanks to an offense that may get its own 30 for 30 after this one. They're up by 17 over the Pandas. We'll circle back if anything big happens in this college football matchup.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Slams into the pile. He'll get 1 to the 17. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Motion from the offense. Looking to pass. It's Coot. A strike downfield. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a 1st down. This offense is like running a perfection drill in practice against air. Chunk play after chunk play, and here they come again. Quick toss. Nice move to stay on his feet. A confident, tough, efficient run gets it up to the 44. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. He's looking to throw. He just got rid of that one to save the down. Didn't see anything he liked. 3rd and short from the 44, and we might know if they plan to go for it on 4th down by what they call here. From the gun, wants to pass. Wide open downfield. 3rd down conversions are huge, and they've got one, and they're at the 35.
Well, look, that wasn't a touchdown, but that was a massive play for this offense. They needed some momentum. They needed to find a rhythm, and what better way than converting on third down. Awesome job by the quarterback getting through his progression.
The stop, the start, the juke, everything in the bag as he gets to the 29. They got him to jump. The defense got into the neutral zone, and that'll be a first down.
Defense.
The defender crossed the line a little bit too early. It's a free 5 yards for the offense. To the air on first down. A little release to the back. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Let's see what they've got on second down. Quarterback keeps it. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. Get it out on the screen. Makes the grab, and it's enough for the first down before he's dragged to the ground. And the Aggies come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Wide receiver shows motion. Looking downfield, it's Koo. Incompleted. Man, is he lucky to get that one back. Defense that close to an interception. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. This is a designed run. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop. Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big third down in the red zone. They'll go to the air. They'll run the screen. Touchdown, New Mexico State. That is the ultimate grab and go for the score. Oh, the offense shows some life here and cuts into the lead with that score.
And, man, they needed it. They had to have something to go right. Listen, still down, but this is a great start to getting back in this ballgame.
Lining up to add another.
Kicker on for the extra point.
And they make the extra point to draw closer. It's 28-17. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
Madison, 28, New Mexico State.
From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Trying to start the drive with a pass. And the throw out to the sideline, good for a few. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the short completion brings up second down. He's looking to throw. He's got his man. He's brought down, solid pickup, but a little bit short of the first down. The Dukes come to the line in the hurry-up. On third and short, the run and looking for the first down. They get him on the ground, but not before he gets enough for the first down. They'll snap it on first down from the 35. To the ground, he's got it again. He's knocked down in the backfield, he'll lose a couple. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. After losing a couple on that last play, here's second and 12. He's looking to throw. They're bringing heat. And the freshman will chalk up a sack.
And the defense there goes zone coverage, maybe confused the quarterback a little bit, forced him to hold on to the football, and that allowed the pass rush to get home.
They're going to keep this drive going. They'll have to make a play on third and long from the 26. Looking downfield, and he needs a bunch. Fires into traffic, intercepted. Not a lot on the return, but they can live with that as they got it at the 49.
Most defenses are lucky if you have one good covering corner. Fewer are lucky if you have two. They've got three DBs, three corners that can play at the same time in their nickel package that they feel can go mano-a-mano with anyone in the country. And you saw it on that last play coming with it.
The New Mexico State offense returns to the field. The last time they had it, they took it down the field for a touchdown. They can build some confidence that they could go back-to-back scoring drives here.
Yeah, and remember, it's not uncommon for offenses to find themselves as the game goes on. They had some things not go their way early, but they found something last drive, David. Let's see if they can build on it.
Yeah, you just pick and pick and pick until you find that place where you're like, okay, this is an advantage I have. They clearly found that dude. They score here. We're in for a ball game.
Back to throw, it's Coop. Fires deep toward the end zone. And swatted down by the defense to stop the scoring opportunity. Guys, this offense is already reeling down multiple possessions. Really need to cash in on this drive. Just a short pass to the tight end. And they make the tackle, but it'll be enough for a first down. And we'll see if they get another play off here in the third. Guys, it's James Madison on top as we've come to the end of the quarter. They're sitting in a strong position here with the lead. Let's take a look at our game summary. One more period to go to see who can make the winning plays and come home with the victory. This New Mexico State offense is pushing all the right buttons. Wide out in motion. They'll throw it on first down. A little screen to the running back. He makes the stop, but a nice pickup there on first down. Leaves them in second and manageable. Gonna run it. It's Darisaw. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
Holding. Offense.
That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. And now on second down for this offense. They're going to throw it again. Got his man. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. They're close enough for a makeable field goal from the 26, but they'd love to convert this third and long. Power football with the run. And on fourth down, here comes the field goal unit. And he's already 1 for 1, so this time he'll try to put one through from 39 yards out. It's good, and that was dead solid perfect. After putting up the field goal, they're set to kick it away. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. James Madison sends the offense back onto the field. After that last pick, David, they really need to take care of the ball this time.
No doubt. And Palmer, I want to know what Spurrier said to you on the sideline after a pick.
Do that again, and you'll be right here beside me for the rest of the game. You got to go out. You got to call your plays, and I hope this coaching staff isn't going to be afraid to throw it this drive.
Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Fairly manageable distance here on third down from the 27. To the ground to try to move the chains. They tried to go smash mouth on third and short, and it did not work against this defense. Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. And let's see what kind of ball plays this offense has ready. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Takes a hit as he fires. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. The incomplete pass leaves him with second down. Looking for a man. It's Coop. Safe completion on the screen. They finally get him stopped, but what a good job by that front wall to set up the screen and create some lanes for their running back.
This is the moment for this offense to put a drive together. It doesn't matter what's happened up to the point of this game, but you're trailing right now. You've got to put some points up on the board. This is where all 11 guys need to be playing together as one.
Hold it. Offense.
Amazing how many times an offensive holding penalty will stall a drive. We'll see if the offense can overcome it. Quarterback on the keeper. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. Kept it on the ground last time. Let's see if they go back to it on second down. He's looking to throw. Fires to the tight end. How about this backer in pass coverage and bringing the big hit stick with him too. Ball spotted right at midfield as they try to convert third and short. He'll set up to throw. And they can't make the connection on third down. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. He's getting a lot of work. Fourth time he's punted tonight. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines. Not his best work. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. On first down, here comes this offense. The handoff as they run the counter play here. And he left the first defender grabbing at air before he was finally tackled. And the Dukes racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Man, it's so nice to have a guy that you can depend on. Like, this offense is built around him for a reason. Just a good running back. You can see, gets north-south, doesn't dance, picks up positive yards, breaks tackles. He's just a really good player, and that's why this offense runs through him.
Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. Pre-snap motion in the backfield. And they're not quite in rhythm there. It's incomplete. Let's see if they go back to the air on second down. He's looking to throw. And wings it incomplete. This is a third and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Snags it over the middle. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. The Dukes will punt it away on fourth down. They've been busy out there to punt for the fifth time today. And the punt will hit at the one, just a little too far for them to be able to down it. It'll be a touchback and come out to the 20. Wide receiver now comes in motion. Touch pass on the jet sweep. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. Tried to pound it on first down. Now back to the line. Goes to the option. He'll pitch it. He steps out of bounds after a huge play, but hang on just a second. Defense might get bailed out here by a flag. We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. Line getting set on second down. From the shotgun, the inside give. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. That's incomplete. Tried to set up the screen, and he dropped the pass. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. 3 and out, and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Looking for a productive play on first down. He wants to throw. On the run, fires downfield. He's got an open man. Boy, are they loving that huge play. He's got it down to the 9. And that big gainer on the last one has them ready to go from inside the 10. They'll dial up the run on 1st and goal. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. clock continues to run, and they'll be happy to wind it all the way down before they snap it. They give him the rock again on 2nd and goal. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line. It's 3rd down now, and they ought to be able to get off one more play before the 2-minute warning. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense trying to milk this clock and keep time on their side. They'll run it on 3rd and goal. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, James Madison.
And, you know, late in the games, offenses sometimes get conservative when they got the lead and they got the ball. I love this offense. They were aggressive. They got another score added to the lead. Now you're trying to salt this game away.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. And the extra point splits the uprights, and the lead balloons to 15. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
A bit of an under-the-radar game this week, guys, but take a look at this. Texas Tech is currently trailing right now, but it's only a couple of points. That quarterback just needs to show the poise of a young Patrick Mahomes, and they are right back in this. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to Mississippi State. We've got our eye on this one and everything else going on throughout the day, guys.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. 6-yard pickup on 1st down leaves them with 2nd and 4. Moving the running back, forcing the defense to adjust. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands.
Hold it, offense.
They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Back to pass, it's Koo. Got his man on the right. Got room at the 35. And works it to the 40-yard line. That'll be a 1st down. The offense will quickly use a timeout.
Timeout, New Mexico State.
The give to the back. And he'll step across the sidelines after making a good gain on that one.
Hold it, offense.
Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. Running back searching for a hole. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. The clock will stop with this timeout from the offense. They'll get a chance to regroup on the sideline. Went to the running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. Pre-snap motion, quarterback trying to get a read. Just working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36. Everybody has to be set. They have to get it off. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Complete and looking for enough for the 1st down. Down by multiple possessions. You can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on 4th down. Feeling some heat. Hit as he throws. That ball never had a chance, and they'll turn it over on downs. 1st down for this offense. And they're just about out of chances. The defense can stop it one more time as the quarterback takes a knee. It has been said that the obstacle is the way, and this obstacle is now back-to-back losses.
Back-to-back L's. It's not the end of the world, though. I still think there's time for this team to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to finish the season strong. It's not over yet. 2 bad weeks. Flush it down the toilet. Refocus the mechanism. We're ready to rock and roll next week.
It just needs to be about finding a way to win a game right now. In all likelihood, 99.9% chance the college football playoff now is not a possibility anymore. That's okay. Let's worry about winning a game. Let's go back. Let's watch the film. Let's get back to being who we are so we can get this ship right.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.